Welcome to Action Hour. What you're watching here is a VegFest being held at UCLA College campus. This is the very first VegFest held on a college campus. And we have the organizers here today with us, and we're going to be talking with a group called Lives Without Knives. They say their goal is to expand the atmosphere of collaboration in the vegan community, and they are doing this right here, as you can see in this video. So let's welcome them. Ladies, thank you for being on today. Now, Chandni, you are the founder of Lives Without Knives. So I would like to ask you the first question here. What was the impetus to start this international organization?
Hi, Lindsey. Thank you so much for having me here. I really appreciate it. Just to begin, I started Lives Without Knives in Hong Kong 4 years ago. And the reason for this was that I grew up as a Jain, which was a religion based on nonviolence and compassion towards all living beings. And I always grew up very passionate about advocating for this cruelty-free, nonviolent lifestyle. And around 4 years ago, I entered this pitch competition for students to make their own kind of change in their communities. And so I pitched for Lives Without Knives as a youth-led social enterprise that has events, Lives Without Knives challenge packages, corporate and school programs, and festivals all around. And I somehow won the pitch competition, and that's where it started. And then I brought it to UCLA, and I was so grateful to find such an amazing team here, such as Harper and Joy, to create such a beautiful VegFest to UCLA.
Oh, well, that's just amazing. And I want to hear more about the organization in a little while. I'm going to ask you more about that. But I want to go back to the VegFest at UCLA. And I think it might be nice to see a teaser from the UnChainedTV Streaming Network was there with you, and they put together this little teaser.
We're actually reaching people that might not even thought about being vegan as they're just walking through the campus. You're not forcing them to do anything, you're not in their face, but you got the music playing, you got the food there, and so now they want to be a part of it.
I just thought it was the time to bring everyone together, and I thought VegFest would be a really cool way to do so. You know, food brings everyone together, live music and everything, and this event has been exceeded my expectations.
Let's bring VegFest to UCLA. It's never happened before, and we really want to just be able to spread awareness about factory farming, spread awareness about plant-based eating, vegan lifestyles, and all of the benefits of that.
They're coming over to see what it's about. Instead of trying to go grab them and bring them over, now they're like, you know what, let me go see what their party is over there.
And you know what they say, what happens in LA spreads to the rest of the nation and then the world.
The power within vegan food, within supporting vegan local businesses and making an impact with your choices. We've really worked hard to advocate for a vegan lifestyle. We can make veganism so attainable and so...
That is so exciting to look at. So I guess my next question is, how did the idea for a VegFest on all of our, I graduated from UCLA, I have to say that on camera, and all of you were from UCLA. How did you decide to bring it, and how did it come to the campus? Who would like to take that? Maybe Harper start, and then everybody can add in. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. So the idea for VegFest actually came in last summer because me and Joy were a part of a college leadership program, which is a fellowship through the New Roots Institute, which is an organization that works to educate people about factory farming. And so we were learning a lot about the effects of factory farming and about what we can do to advocate for vegan lifestyles and for people to make that shift. And we decided to go for a VegFest because we were inspired by one other VegFest done in a dining hall at Claremont College. And yeah, me and Joy decided, you know what, we're going to try to make this a thing. When we planned it, or when we thought of the idea, we were thinking on a much smaller scale, like maybe a couple vendors, maybe a couple tables. And yeah, we just expanded it and expanded it. We, of course, added Chandni to the team, who is the executive director of Lives Without Knives. And this made it a huge VegFest, Lives Without Knives, VegFest at UCLA. And we are so, so excited about how big it became when the idea was kind of small in the beginning.
Wow, that's just amazing what could be done with just an idea if you have the passion and the team. And I know that you guys are all about collaboration, not competition. We're going to come back to that philosophy. But Joy, is there anything that you would like to add in? And then we'll go Chandni, of course, too. So go ahead, Joy.
Yeah, of
What
course.
would you
So
like to add?
Harper said it perfectly, but also there's such a big vegan community at UCLA and in the LA area, but never has there been like an actual vegan festival done at UCLA. And we just thought it would be a great way to bring everyone together at UCLA and beyond, just because of there's so many vegan vendors, lots of student groups, and with the live music and the food, it was a really great way to just unite everyone and have that sense of community.
Yeah, it looked like a real party, and you drew in a lot of people. I think we have a clip before we go on to Chandni. I'm going to see if I have a clip here with you had John Lewis. You want to just mention, maybe Chandni, take that one, how you got involved. You got Badass Vegan involved, and then we'll play a clip where he talks about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, of course. This was a super cool story. So last October, Harper and I went to Vegan Dill, which was one of the biggest vegan festivals that happens kind of nationwide. And it happened in LA, one of them. So Harper and I went just for fun, and we saw Badass Vegan John Lewis over there. And honestly, we were like biggest fans. We were like, oh my God, like it's Badass Vegan. We have to get a photo. Like we're the biggest fans of him. And we take a photo, and I happen to mention, oh, like at this organization, Lives Without Knives, like we'd love to collaborate sometime. And he gave us his email, but like never in my like life did I imagine he'd ever respond to my email or like something would even come out of this. But when we were planning VegFest, we were thinking, okay, like let's shoot for the sky. How can we make this bigger and better and do things that we never would have thought of before? And we were like, oh, like we have Badass Vegan's contact. Like, why not maybe ask him to host? And of course, it was a long shot. We thought like, it's never going to happen. He's never going to reply to our email. Like, there's no way it's happening. But we emailed him, and he happened to be interested. We had a meeting, and he was like, you know what? I'll make the cross-country trip for this UCLA VegFest to make a difference, to introduce veganism to these UCLA students. And
Wow.
from there, and John Lewis decided to fly from the East Coast to LA, especially for our VegFest, and host our VegFest, bring veganism in a very fun and thrilling way to UCLA. And that was honestly one of the highlights of our VegFest.
Wow. So let's watch this clip.
We were inspired by another VegFest at a different college nearby, and we were just like, let's bring VegFest to UCLA. It's never happened before, and we really want to just be able to spread awareness about factory farming, spread awareness about plant-based eating, vegan lifestyles, and all of the benefits of that, and we wanted to bring that to the UCLA community. And then we brought Chandni on board, who's the founder of an organization called Lives Without Knives that's also on campus at UCLA.
Hi, I'm Chandni. I'm the founder of Lives Without Knives and the lead organizer of VegFest at UCLA.
The strategy here is one of attraction, not promotion. Nobody's shoving veganism down anybody's throats. They're like, hey, it's a party. Come on over. Taste some great food.
We have these amazing vegan food samples, vegan businesses giving out their amazing milks, their sushi, their vegan chicken, their vegan burgers, and you can see how yummy and attainable this lifestyle is.
You're actually reaching people that might not even thought about being vegan as they're just walking through the campus. You're not forcing them to do anything. You're not in their face, but you got the music playing, you got the food there, and so now they want to be a part of it. And they're coming over to see what it's about. Instead of trying to go grab them and bring them over, now they're like, you know what, let me go see what that party is over there. And I think that's an amazing thing. And you also have people that are curious already, and they just needed that one little nudge. Like, now, you know what, I can go do this.
I think this event has really opened eyes of many people and allowed them to see like the power within vegan food, within supporting vegan local businesses and making an impact with your choices, especially with our pamphlets, with our nonprofit foods. We've really worked hard to advocate for a vegan lifestyle and show people why, first of all, that you have to like adopt more plant-forward choices for the planet, for the climate crisis, for our own health, for animals.
That was just so inspiring to see what could be done with just a few people getting together, and then having someone like John Lewis, who is huge in the vegan community, and to come across country to come and be at this event. It's so inspiring. I want to play a couple more clips for people that are not as familiar with John's work, and I think it'll lead us into our conversation.
There's these pig farms in North Carolina. The surrounding communities of these pig farms are predominantly people of color. You know, we did like swab tests, and we tested like the walls and the tables and the ovens and the toys, and they all had pig feces in them. The pig farm that we actually went to, he had 3 lagoons. One of the lagoons alone holds 6 million gallons of pig waste. So they have to spray it over these fields, and when they spray it, it just catches in the air and goes into these surrounding neighborhoods.
Wow. So I know one of the reasons that this organization was founded and all of you are doing the activism is for the planet, for compassion, but also for the planet. And I want to ask each of you, how did that clip affect you the first time you learned about what's going on in factory farming and how it inspired you? We'll just go round robin. We'll start with Harper. Go ahead, Harper.
Yeah, so that clip was talking about just one of the many issues of factory farming, and John was going through a social justice lens, and he was talking about how there's huge pools of pig excretion right next to factory farms, and he was mentioning North Carolina, and there's actually a whole documentary called The Smell of Money that we did watch and screen to our viewers at UCLA the week of VegFest, which was super cool. And I really think it's very important to spread awareness about these issues because the people being affected by factory farms are the people who need the most help and need us to uplift them and change this food system so that they are not living in such horrible conditions, causing health conditions, breathing problems, because they're just breathing in this toxic excretion. And yeah, it's affecting just low-income communities mainly, and we need to help them and we need to uplift them in order to make the planet a better place.
Well, it's not only affecting low-income communities, although it is very much so, but it's affecting everyone's health. It's affecting our planet. And so, Joy, do you want to just expound on what was just said by Harper?
Yeah, of course. So a lot of these issues like around factory farming, especially as it relates to the social aspects, I learned a lot of it through the New Roots Institute. And John spoke about, one aspect of that sort of lens. And it's a very disheartening lens to see that the factory farms really target people and groups that are more vulnerable. They target factory farm workers who, a lot of them are disproportionately people of color. So Black and brown people, people who have been previously incarcerated and are facing high recidivism rates. And beyond that, factory farms, of course, the locations that they're placed in, they're deliberately placed in communities where the people can't fight back, or it's harder for them to fight back. So, same thing goes for them. Communities that are disproportionately composed of people of color. And, these factory farms, they really do spread lots of zoonotic diseases too. So many they pollute the environment so much, and the air around them, the water around them, all this runoff that goes into the surrounding land. So it's very disheartening to see that factory farms really do play on the vulnerabilities of every living being that's involved.
It's total exploitation of everything on the planet, really, as you just said. Chandni, what would you like to add?
Yeah, I think a lot's already been said, but just as a whole, I think this really emphasizes how the system through which meat and dairy is produced is honestly broken on every level. It utilizes extreme workers' exploitation, using ethnic minority, cheap immigrant labor, using mass animal cruelty, leading cause of the world's water consumption or the Brazilian Amazon destruction, and just so many different things in the planet that I think more and more we're becoming more and more aware of the effects of factory farming on us, on our health, on the planet, on people around us. And, it's like there's an angle for everyone. Like, even if maybe you don't consider yourself a climate activist, like surely you care about your own health. Or even if you don't care about animals, like surely you care about workers and like your fellow humans next to you. And I feel like nowadays there's a lot more awareness, but obviously we work to kind of increase that as well and make sure that people are aware that this isn't just an issue for like earth lovers or just animal lovers, but this is an issue that concerns everyone now. And we must act now to make a difference.
Well said. Very well said. I want to stay with you for another question here, because you say that the organization, the enterprise, I love that it is an enterprise. And I want to get into some of the ways that you have your vegan starter kit and VegSphere and those different initiatives. But I want to ask you to comment, and then the others can join in on why it's so important to have collaboration versus competition as a philosophy.
Yeah, for sure. So we're definitely motivated by SDG 17, which is Partnership for the Goals. And the reason for this is that traditionally our economy is driven by profit. And so other businesses are seen as a threat. And so because of that, we are usually kind of steered towards competition, towards competing against other organizations, businesses, entities, because we want to increase our own profit. But the thing in the vegan world is that we're driven by this vision of a vegan green world. We're not motivated by profit, obviously. And like, while that can be a way of doing, ultimately, everyone's mission is to create a difference, is to introduce veganism in a more fun and thrilling way to everyone. And that's why we're kind of believe very heavily in collaboration, not competition, because what we want to do here is work together to make a difference, not kind of compete against each other to do that. And the best way to make a difference, to work towards a greener, more vegan, more kinder world, is to work all together as nonprofits, organizations, social enterprises to make a difference collectively.
I love that. And I think it might be a good time to play this clip about a vegan block party. So I know that's a really short clip from your Instagram, but it just shows how much excitement can be raised. I was at Vegan Day last October, and it was just amazing. It was so much fun, and people were just were so into it. And I think many people got to experience vegan food for the first time. So do you guys want to address that a little bit more, the idea of how to build that? Maybe each of you want to talk about this. How do you think is a great way to build that suspense and that excitement, et cetera? Do you want to start with Joy? I'll start with Joy this time. Go ahead, Joy.
Yeah, so the block party was a really good example of how you can make veganism in such an exciting and approachable manner. Veganism, there's so many different aspects and communities that are a part of this big movement. And so having them, bringing everyone together and showcasing like live music and, of course, food. And there's so many different types of food that people can try as well as like
some of the foods so that people get an idea. I'll see if I have some pictures.
Yeah, so at our VegFest, we had one vendor bring in some vegan like fried chicken and waffles. There was another vendor who brought in like garlic noodles and other noodle dishes. There's, of course, vegan burgers. And for desserts, there's one vendor with like lots of boba and milk tea. And, there was another vendor who had like their own coffee syrup and their own like coffee chili. So a very diverse range of food that you can totally make vegan. And so I think having people try all these different flavors, like food is just, it itself is a very great way to make veganism in such, present itself in such an exciting and approachable manner. But, you have things such as like clothing and fashion and music that can also be part of this great community. So there's so many aspects of veganism that are in it of itself very exciting.
Yes, when you said the clothes and all the other things, the artwork, I go crazy at these vegan festivals, buying things, etc. Does anyone else want to add into that anymore about building that excitement? Maybe Harper?
Yeah, for sure. So I've been vegan since I was 13 years old. And I will say that since moving to LA, I have never been more motivated to be vegan. And that's just because I found such an amazing vegan community here through all these events, such as, that block party was an example. LA has many events, including Vegan Day. We went to V-Kind, which was an entirely vegan immersive experience for food tasting. And I think VegFest is just another example of us trying to bring people together, and you really bond over that shared value, shared compassion, and also bringing everyone in. We are open to everyone, whether you're vegan, vegetarian, not vegan, just interested. We wanted to make VegFest extremely accessible and open to anyone interested in the lifestyle, and show that veganism is super fun, super exciting, and there's a really big community to be found, especially in LA, and hopefully more and more across the nation in different cities where they'll run VegFest and different events like Vegan Dale and motivate people to be excited about veganism and find their community.
And to find out that vegans are just like everyone else, right? We're out to have fun, eat food, have a good time, and save the planet, basically. Chandni, would you like to add something in?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I'd say one approach that's really worked for us as well is not like taking away people's choices or like kind of like shaming them for what they're eating, but it's more about adding something new to the palate. And it's about like, try this vegan food out, like try this vegan cupcake. And it's not about like, no, like never have your dairy cupcake again. Like you must only eat vegan cupcakes, but it's about like presenting that choice that, you have the choice to make a difference. You have the choice to choose this vegan cupcake over this like egg dairy cupcake, and you can truly make a difference with every choice that you make. And I guess that was kind of a philosophy behind VegFest as well, that it wasn't like we're working to like be like, oh, you must go vegan overnight, or like let me take away all your meat choices, but it's more about have a look, like there's all these wonderful vegan options out there, like Joy said, try our vegan chicken and vegan waffle. Like there's no need for that dairy, there's no need for that real chicken use when we can create such wonderful substitutes that are good for the planet, for our health, for the environment, for workers, for everything all around. And I'd say that's like a philosophy that I also see in LA a lot, in the sense that like there's so many choices out there, there's so many kind of vegan foods available that people are inclined to try them, not because they want to go vegan overnight, but just because they want to make a difference with their meals. And I see it with my friends as well, with my family, with people around me, that even if they've grown up like very meat eating or still love meat, they still see these vegan options and are inclined to try them just because they know the impact it can make.
That's very interesting point of view. And I love that because it's so inclusive. I want to before we get off the UCLA organizations, I want to talk about the others that were involved. So let's play this.
We do have quite a large, vegan community. We have one big club, Animal Welfare Alliance, that is hosting this Plant Powered Revolution Week. And within Animal Welfare Alliance, or AWA, we have 3 partner organizations that are also all vegan: Bruins Opposing Speciesism, Plant Futures Initiative, and Lives Without Knives, which is hosting VegFest. So the vegan community is spreading.
Well, our student organization, it's called the Alternative Proteins Project at UCLA. So we're a branch of the Alternative Proteins Project, which is an organization that's affiliated with the Good Food Institute, which is a nonprofit organization that funds research and education about different types of alternative proteins. So that could be cultured meat, plant-based meat, or it could be different fermentation products. So that would be like tofu, seitan. So the goal of our project is we're trying to educate students about the science behind alternative proteins. So for example, how do you make cultured meat, or what are the different crops that are used to make plant-based proteins, so that students can go out into the world and pursue alternative proteins research and careers.
What we have done this entire week, we have 8 events, we put on this VegFest, it was only because we were working together. We combined our numbers, we found strength in unity and solidarity. And, even though we all have very diverse backgrounds, we all want to do different things within the animal rights field, we're here today because we're still ultimately working towards the same goal. And that allows us to collaborate and push our passions forward and bring incredible things.
So I just want to remind everyone, or let everyone know, I should say, that clip was from UnChainedTV Streaming Network. You can watch that entire video there for free. Just go to watch.unchainedtv and sign up and support our network. We bring you all sorts of wonderful vegan programming, cooking shows, series, reality shows, entertainment, the list goes on. So be sure to sign up for Unchained TV. Thank you, ladies. I want to now talk a little bit more about Lives Without Knives. And I want to talk about the vegan starter kits and Veg Sphere. So I guess we'll start with Chandni now on that. Why don't you tell us about the vegan starter kits, and then whoever wants to jump in, of course, is welcome. So how did that all come about? Yeah.
So it ties in really well with our entire philosophy of collaboration, not competition, and ultimately uniting the local businesses, the nonprofits, and all these entities around us instead of competing against each other. So we created these Lives.Knives starter kits as an aim to kind of introduce veganism in a very fun and thrilling way, but also through uniting local businesses that are vegan and want to grow together. So what we had in these kits was we had 10 vegan local business partners, and they gave us their products to put in the basket. And along with that, we had 10 different guides to veganism. So we had things like how to use tofu in your vegan lifestyle, or like how can you go vegan through these 5 tips for easy transition and things like that. So essentially the aim of this vegan starter kit was just to raise awareness on veganism and give people a fun package to kind of embark upon veganism in a very fun and thrilling way, once again, as introducing something new into their lifestyle, not taking away something, and just uniting local businesses all around us to kind of come together in one package and show that we don't have to compete against each other to make a difference, but we can unite together and make a bigger difference.
And I think that always makes it's going to make the movement so much stronger. And the fact that it's you younger people that are bringing us together, I love that idea. It's a fresh new approach to working cooperatively and how much more can be done. So that is just amazing. Did anyone else want to add anything on that? I don't know if you guys are involved in the vegan starter kit, but if you have anything you want to say about it, go ahead. Harper?
Yeah, I think that the vegan starter kit was just a really great way to get college students interested in veganism. And once again, our goal is accessibility to veganism. So we wanted to make VegFest free. We gave free samples to everyone, and then we wanted to support people in their vegan journeys, even if they just want to try going vegetarian or trying more plant-based foods. So we made these starter kits as a collaboration with all the local businesses, as Chandni mentioned, that we were in contact with, and they donated their products, and we're able to sell these starter kits to UCLA students to support their vegan journeys. And that's the goal of Lives Without Knives. We want people to join, and we want people to be interested in veganism and start on their vegan journey with all the support that we can provide them.
Now, you each had a different role. So do you want to just talk a little bit about your role in the VegFest?
Yeah, so I was mainly in charge of funding for VegFest, and as a student organization, we were able to go through UCLA to obtain some funding for VegFest, and we also went through something called a Spark crowdfunding campaign. This was also through UCLA, but we were able to reach out and gain donations through that. It was a long fundraising process, I will say. It started back in the fall, leading up to the VegFest in January. And yeah, we learned a lot along the way. We were all very new to dealing with UCLA administration, holding events on campus, and dealing with the costs of creating such a large event. And I would say I learned so much through that process in the fall, and I can't wait to make it even better for next year's VegFest.
Okay, that's wonderful. Joy, can you want to jump in on that? And everybody, just reminding myself, look in the camera when we talk. Thanks. Go ahead.
Yeah, of course. So I was the main logistics organizer for this event. So my role was to spearhead all event logistics and be in communication with our vendors, nonprofits, and student groups so that everyone could be in compliance with the UCLA Events Office, the Fire Marshal, and the UCLA Environmental Health and Safety Department. And so some of my roles included making the layout for this event and making sure that all of the permits from our vendors and for our nonprofits and other student groups were being sent to the UCLA Events Office, and just making sure that everything got approved by the other departments. And so I also made some of the day of event logistics details and procedures, such as the parking and loading setup and things like that.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, I think I finished saying.
I went, wow. I was like, that's amazing. So yeah, I'll play it. Okay, so if you're finished with that, and I do apologize if I broke your stream of thought, but I have a little student promo I thought was really.
Good morning, Los Angeles. Today's the day we've been waiting for, VegFest at UCLA. Woo! Joy.
7 food vendors, 3 food trucks, one non-food vendor, 3 student orgs, and 3 nonprofits, and a whole lot of fun. Plus, we have badass vegan and some student musicians coming.
And where can you find us?
11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Wilson Plaza. Be there, be square.
Park at parking lot 4.
I guess one of the things we haven't covered yet is why do you feel it's so important, and we'll go round robin on this one, why do you think it's so important to support local? How, when you reached out, how was that experience? Whoever did reach out maybe could cover that, but I'll just go ahead now. Who, I think Chandni, was it your turn or Joy?
My turn to talk about my role at VegFest, do you mean?
Oh, go ahead. Yes, please.
Yeah. So my role was the primary lead for like marketing and outreach. So I was in charge of mainly like designing the banners, like the flyers, the pamphlets, and things like that. Obviously, we all worked together to create everything, but I was in charge of designing everything, like Instagram posts and things, and just like reaching out to the UCLA community, to like the LA community to come out to our event, because we were very lucky to have such a big audience from the whole like Los Angeles kind of area. So I guess like it was really great to see that like that kind of was success in terms of outreach and marketing, and getting all these different people and all these different vegans and non-vegans all around Los Angeles to come through. And of course, just like designing the Lives Without Knives vegan starter kits and making sure that we had our business partners on board, and designing kind of like how they look and how to make them appealing to consumers, and how can we get them to be bigger and better as a whole. But I just want to reiterate that like it was such an amazing experience to be in a team with Joy and Harper. And I cannot emphasize how much it was such an amazing experience for all of us to have such pivotal roles in the whole team and creating VegFest, where I don't think that it would have come to life without either of us, without any of us. And whether it was logistics or funding or marketing and outreach, I think I really realized in this kind of experience that every single role is so important and essential to making such a VegFest work. And it's just so great to have a team that works so well and so passionate about something that you are as well.
I think it's just getting the right formula together of the people that have the same goals and are willing to work together. Let's just address that other question quickly. Talk a little bit about working with locals. I'll start now with Joy. Let's go to Joy.
Yeah, of course. So these local vendors, there's so many of them in Los Angeles, but it was really like VegFest, and having them be at such a big campus like UCLA was a great way for them to showcase their business to lots of students and a different audience. And you know, bringing in local vegan vendors too. They had such a like personal story and such a different story for each of them, and they're all very personable. So, you know, having them there was really great for, you know, students to talk to them, for vendors to meet each other, and to, you know, just build that collaboration for maybe future events, and just showcasing their business to a different audience and to other vendors as well.
Okay, and Harper, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think as UCLA students, we have a pretty unique opportunity to uplift these local businesses, because we have access to this audience. It's not super easy to allow yourself and to sell products on UCLA campus. It takes a fair amount of logistics planning, as Joy was going over. And as registered campus organizations, we are able to hold these events on campus and bring in outside food vendors and hopefully introduce them to a completely new audience, and yeah, spread the vegan love and spread the knowledge about veganism and the excitement about these products that people may never have heard of, because they are small local businesses, but they have incredible food, as our reviews of VegFest have said. Everyone loved the food, and they may have never purchased from any of these businesses before or tried any of these samples. And yeah, it's just a great new experience and way to introduce these products to such a new audience.
I just want to reiterate to everyone how they can get in touch with you here through Instagram. Oops, not that one. Here's your website, liveswithoutknives.com, and your Instagram. So either one of these, just really simply the name Lives Without Knives, and .com is for the website. and you can find out, people can find out more about the different services that you offer here on your website. They'll find out about the different things that you do and how they can book you for events. And then I have another one I was just showing here of you at different corporate events, and your corporate sponsors are all down there, which is kind of amazing. So you guys are real. I'm sorry, go ahead. Just want to comment. I don't know what happened there. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think it was just a glitch in the audio.
Got it. Okay, so did anyone else want to comment on working with local vendors before we move on? We have a couple more things we want to cover, but go ahead.
Yeah, just to add on from what Harper was saying, that is just so important to work with these local vendors. And especially because, like, as we know in this economy, it's obviously hard for local vendors to thrive, to attain a bigger audience, with corporates always kind of like taking lead and like people always leaning towards like the cheaper, more like attainable, more like standardized option that corporations provide us with. But essentially our goal here obviously was to elevate and kind of amplify these local businesses that are making this big difference and deserve to have this platform to showcase their kind of talents, to showcase what they do, to showcase their amazing special products. And I guess that was such a big thing that we attained at VegFest, was starting those conversations between these kind of consumers, between these students, between these local businesses, where it wasn't just about selling their products or making people try them, but it was about talking about veganism. It was about showing their love and passion for veganism through their products to students. And I guess like that's the best part of having local businesses on board.
Wonderfully said. I want to show one more clip and you can talk about this next. Can you guys, I'll let each of you jump in here, but I think perhaps we'll start with Chandni on that one as well. Do you want to talk about what's going on in that video and how people can get involved?
Yeah, for sure. So this was the first VKind event, and it was called the VKind Experience. And Harper and I volunteered there along with one of our Animal Welfare Alliance board members, Sarah. And we went to this event just as volunteers, but we got to experience it as well as the benefit of being a volunteer. And it was truly one of the best vegan events I've been to, for sure. Can't speak for Harper, but I'm sure that's how she felt as well. They had over like 20 different cultural experiences with different like food, but like different sensory experiences to experience that food in a very unique way that I'd never experienced food and before. And it was completely vegan. It was completely cruelty-free, had tons of amazing elements to it. And I'd say that it was one of the amazing best ways to get involved in veganism, because you see veganism not as this kind of like stigmatized, like, you know, weird hippie lifestyle, but you see it more as this really fun and opening and very immersive kind of experience that anyone can hop on board with.
And it's also all encompassing, and there's so many opportunities. It's forward thinking. It's all of that. Harper, did you want to add anything on that since you did attend?
Yeah, for sure. I have the same thoughts about the event as Chandni. I thought it was an incredible event to have the opportunity to volunteer at. And yeah, I had a pretty interesting role for the volunteering. I got to run the short film that was being shown as part of the experience, kind of at the end of all the food sampling. And it was a really eye-opening documentary where an animal rights activist named Jamie Logan starred, and she was actually there to discuss the film with everyone afterwards. But yeah, it was an eye-opening documentary about the dairy industry and kind of like putting yourself in the shoes of these dairy cows and what they're experiencing on the factory farms that run dairy. And yeah, I just got to see people go in and really just be out there to learn and then come out and reflect. And that was really, really, really meaningful of an experience. And yeah, that was just one part of the VKind experience, because it was very exciting with all the food, but I think that the short film was a super cool opportunity to get more get more information about the dairy industry if you want to learn, and kind of reflect on why you're vegan and realize we're here for the animals, or whatever reason you're here for.
Right.
You can reflect on that and that.
Yeah, I want to mention to folks that that film is available on Unchained TV Streaming Network. You can watch the film that Jamie Logan is in. I think it's called One More Girl.
The Last Girl.
The Last Girl. Thank you so much. And it's very, very interesting to watch. I love that you said that that was probably the thing that you remember most, not even over the food, even though the food was great. Joy, I just want to give you a chance to jump in here if you have anything you wanted to add about either the event or anything you'd like to add. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So I think Harper and Chandni already spoke about the clip that you just showed, so I can help speak a little bit more about the vendors too at VegFest, just because I believe Paige asked some questions about that. So we did have 7 local vegan food vendors, 3 food trucks, 1 non-food vendors, 3 student organizations, and 3 nonprofits at the event. And so I can just give a shout out to some of these food tents and the food trucks. So for food trucks, we had Word of Mouth, Nudes, and the Plant Lab come over. And then for the food vendors that weren't food trucks, we had Naturade, Nature's Wild Berry, Heart House, 7 a.m. Coffee, Vegan or Not, 24 Vegan, and Hazy Bread at the event. And then our nonprofits, we had UnChained TV, the Humane League, and then we also had the New Roots Institute, as well as I believe the Plant-Based Treaty came over too.
Right. Yeah.
And then for our student orgs, we had UCLA Farmers Market, we had Unravel at UCLA, and then we had the Alternative Protein Project. So yeah, it was very great to organize and to collaborate with all of them, because they had so many different things about their org that they could showcase that all still tied back to veganism in this awesome movement.
We're almost out of time, so I want to ask the question, how can people, if they're interested, get involved? I'll direct that towards Chandni, and if you will, go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. So we have something for pretty much everyone. So if you're a student at UCLA or any college across California, we're always looking for team members at Lives.Knives to make these events come to life and to help us out in this area. So there's an application form on our website, and you can always DM us on Instagram or reach out through our email on our Instagram or our website for any inquiries for ways to kind of join the team. And then the second thing I'd say is just for partners. So any vegan brands, any vegan businesses, startups, nonprofits, anyone, we're always looking to partner, because obviously, like we said, our philosophy has always been collaboration, not competition. So we'd like to be a part of our next events, a part of our upcoming VegSphere platform, which is a platform designed to empower vegan local businesses to grow and expand. We'd love to have you on board and partner with you and bring you to UCLA to showcase your amazing work to the UCLA students here. And third thing I'd say is just for individuals watching who want to be more involved in the work we do and just keep up to date is follow us on Lives.Knives.
Great. So last words, everyone. I'm going to start with Harper. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, and if you're not in the LA community and you're a student or you're someone who wants to run an event similar to VegFest, we really want to support you, and we want to give you all the advice that we can to help make this happen across the nation or wherever you are. So please reach out for any help, any advice. We do have months of experience planning this event, and we can help you through doing something similar in another city and just spreading the vegan love and introducing this amazing experience to more and more people.
Wonderful. Joy, you're next. Go ahead.
Yeah, and to add on to that, like VegFest, our goal was to bring a community together and to empower everyone involved in the vegan movement. And that's what we want to still see going forward, even after VegFest at UCLA is over. We would love to see this spread across many different other campuses, and to see the vegan movement in these areas be uplifted, and to have people feel empowered and supported. So yeah, that's what I'd like to say.
Thank you. And Chandni, I'll give you the last word. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone for joining today and listening to our story about VegFest and kind of our future with Lives.Knives. And we hope that you stay connected and, of course, reach out with anything, anytime at all. And we'd love to partner, help out, or have you join the team.
Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for watching today, Action Hour. I think it's very inspiring to have these young people leading the way in collaboration versus competition, reaching out to local vendors. Let's all take a note from that and be more inspired, more fun-loving vegans, as we all are. And I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Come back and see me next time.